Carl will bring to the American Rescue Plan Act Committee, April 8, 2022 at 10 a.m. to order. Call numbers.
Crowe. Present. Awful. Here. Sure.
Yep.
Alt.
Here.
Dukenyak.
Here. Everybody has look at the agenda. So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Move on to public comments. Any public comments? You good, Joe? That's good. Okay, we're good to go. All right, we'll move on. The comments, move on, discuss, review, and take action on applications. Let's jump right into airplane mental health. Get them up here. Airplane mental health, let me come up.
Which number is it?
I'm gonna ask Joe in a second. The numbers. 31, thank you. Stack. Too many stacks, too many. I got my 31, 32. Everybody else okay? All right, go ahead.
Okay, good morning. I'm Kim Rabio, Clinical Director at Iroquois Mental Health Center. And we applied for the ARPA grant, and we're seeking funds to upgrade our phone systems and our computer systems. And last time you had a couple of questions, one about some PPP or PPP money we received. The other was about our upgrading our server. So I brought with me Kim Fear, and she's our financial person, and I'm sorry, Brad Miller from Orbis, who is our IT person. So please, any questions you have, we would love to answer your questions.
All right, I'll start out. Hey, Brad.
Yep.
Real quick, on the computer system, you would agree that it will not be used just for Iroquois County, it will be used for other facilities such as Danville that they have down there. Also, I believe, IMH is in that project, county also. So you would also be running those laptops around to the other counties as well.
I don't know if the laptops are specific for that site or not. I don't recall.
I do not recall.
I mean, I think they're clinicians move between sites.
Yeah, the
Correct.
laptops are for us to provide telehealth even for our clinicians that are still working from home. So.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's great. I really do. The only issue we have is from an ARPA standpoint, this money was directly for Iroquois County. And so we want to keep the money in Iroquois County and having, and I get it, because you're going to take a computer with you when one of your employees has to go to Kankakee or Donovan. Have you looked at putting any applications in either one of those two places?
Yes, and Danville isn't open yet, so we're not there yet. We're going to open there, but we're not open yet.
Okay.
So we have other sites, but typically what the therapists, our hub is Iroquois County and Waseca. And then, again, if they're working from home or if they're working at the Kankakee office, they may take their laptop. But I don't believe all of these improvements in this server, it's all typically the Iroquois County, right? Isn't it? You can answer the questions about the server more than I can.
Yeah, I mean, the server runs applications to run the organization, so it is organizational wide, obviously, but and they're not broken up by individual sites. They all utilize the same software with the same server in.
I understand it. I'm minor in this conversation because if the federal government stepped in, they'll want to, these are some questions they're going to ask you. And I'm nothing to look over.
Right.
And that's why I want to make sure everything's legal. That's my main concern with all this. Somebody else have any questions, John?
I think the question you asked is one of the biggest concerns that we have, try and get some understanding and get that part of it worked out, because there's operations in other counties, those counties should be funding and not us.
I'm trying to recall, and I'm a little fuzzy, Jill, did we have questions about these loan documents? The financials here, and so I'm looking at both. You had gone ahead and purchased your phone system, hadn't you? The phone system is in place
Yes,
and running?
yes.
So you're looking for a reimbursement there at $78,403?
Yes.
Okay, and with the loan documents, it said you had previously gotten COVID. Now I'm looking at application R number 32 for we're back on the computer system. So you had previously gotten COVID relief. You had applied for grant. You had not received any PPE, which was the personal equipment loans, or money, I believe.
We have not gotten PPP loans, I don't know, I hadn't really even heard of PPP. The PPP,
Was for
we have got
payroll.
payroll and other specific expenses that they would allow, like utilities. If there was a lease for equipment that was, prior to a certain date, then you could pay your rent on that equipment.
Okay, so you did not put an amount here you said see attached for PPP, and then on page 3, you've got $163,000. That's for 40 desktop computers at $1,200 each, 40 24-inch monitors at $250 each, 30 Windows upgrades, creation of a CIS virtual machine, 15 laptops at $1,800 each, Hvac Wi-Fi coverage update, network upgrade, and server virtualization infrastructure upgrade. And so then we have a letter from the Department of I'm sorry, I'm reading through this, just sort of refresh my memory. I'm a little slow this morning. I'm trying to figure out how much money you got.
For the payroll protection funds.
PPE second draw loan opportunities are available. This is the letter from First Trust. I'm looking for an amount in there. Does someone help me? Does
I
anybody-
have those if you would.
Oh, wait a
excuse me,
minute, I
just
think
a
I
second.
found it here. 64,680, is that correct?
Yeah.
That you did receive?
We received two.
Okay,
So the first one was with First Trust, that was $464,680. The second one is with Federated Bank of Onarga, and that is $468,762.
And that was all PPP ones,
PPP,
right?
yes.
So that has nothing to do with
So that's
equipment.
payroll and utilities and those specific things that the federal government allowed us to spend that money on.
Have you
But primarily it's
Have
salary
you-
expenses,
utilized all those funds?
yes.
Okay.
We have not had any of those funds through all of FY '22.
Yep, and that's really the only stipulations that they've been expending funds, prior
just trying to
to,
get a little history.
prior to awarding you additional funds.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, all right, thank you.
So as far as your environmental health both applications go, I think that they have provided all the information to you. Just from my aspect.
Nope, I get it, thank you so much. I'll we'll move on to, health checks and trigger also. And that one is number 7. Sorry, right through the applications. Do you have it? Barb, John?
Yeah,
I apologize, go ahead.
okay. I am Kathy Edwards, co-owner with Andrea Nims, and we have Health Check, Health Coaching in Watsika. We do lab work at lower costs, like, than what the hospitals. Insurance pays much better for us for some reason, I don't know, because maybe we're private. I don't know. What questions?
Yeah, what questions do you have? Just a second, I'm still getting there. We had asked for financials before.
Yes.
And you also got the Paycheck Protection Program,
Yes.
and you're applying under a revenue loss.
Yes.
You weren't able to continue to function during the shutdowns, you couldn't.
We had to cut our hours way back. I mean, we lost a lot during that time.
We had to let employees go at the time too.
Would you happen to have documentation
Um,
of your, loss?
No.
We provided a 2020 tax return showing a $7,150 loss.
7,150?
And, I'm still looking through it.
yeah, that was, we emailed over the bottom and stuff.
Right, good.
What would the 45,000 be for?
Well, we were wanting to obviously rehire, employees again, or new for that fact. Plus we were gonna use it for upgrading some equipment in our office and stuff like that, so, I mean, even if it's not 45,000, we understand, that's fine, anything would help. That's what we're seeking for.
Would you be able to show what it is you're needing and price and all that?
Yeah, we can, like, for the stuff, we can send you, like what we're wanting to purchase, is that what you want?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what you're gonna need.
Yes,
money for.
absolutely. Two quotes,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay.
What do you find on the financials side of this?
Do we have that?
I think Jill has it, I don't think.
Yeah, I
you do.
didn't email you
That's
it
okay.
because I have all their tax returns.
Okay.
It looks like that there, like she previously stated, there was definitely a $7,000 and some change loss from 19 to 20, which, 21, I'm assuming is gonna look not much different. You're probably gonna experience a little bit of a loss as well. So, that along with any equipment purchase, descriptions or invoices would be.
Okay. Well, our supplies, that's another thing, supplies have gone up tremendously.
Yeah.
Since COVID. I mean, a box of gloves costs you now anywhere from $14 to $20 a box. We were paying $7 before. I mean, that's a huge hit right there, and we have to use gloves 24/7. So, and plus with having to buy masks and stuff like that, keeping up with PPE stuff, we used our PPE stuff to purchase that stuff, but then, we took a hit.
What like I said, just as reference right now, because it's $7,150, she could actually show at this time that would be all we would be able to help with at this time.
Which is completely fine.
But if you were to, maybe if you wanna show the following year, we could probably help them out even, the financials for the following year.
For the
Since you
2021?
said,
They have 19 and 20 in there.
we get 2021. Yes, no?
I mean, yeah, if we're gonna show a revenue, if that's what we're gonna
I'm just
classify it
trying to
as
help
a
them out, so if there's
revenue
something there
loss.
that we can help them with.
Right, and then as far as, I mean, clearly you can approve you could see the loss from 7150.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
And then the equipment, whatever listing and quotes or invoices they could provide staff, then we
Yes,
can
we
move
can do
forward
that.
with those.
Absolutely.
I would, it is up to you if you want to separate those, Paul, or if you wanna keep them together and just review it once those other documents are turned in.
We can review it again, when we have the opportunity, but I just wanted to let you know, as of right now, that's what we have, and
Okay,
if the board did approve, that's what the number would be this time.
okay.
We've got,
And we can get you the quotes and stuff within this next week or two. If that's
appreciate
okay.
it, yeah, that's good. The biggest concern we're running across now is there's more money, obviously, asked for than what we have, so we're trying to do what's best, for as many people as possible.
Exactly, and we understand that completely, yes. We're just thankful if you're gonna help at all. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, is, you know, with the ARPA funds, they could be distributed over the next couple of years as well.
Right.
So,
Okay,
by all means, if it's not happening right now, you're not out of the running whatsoever, and this
No,
goes
nothing
for
like that.
everybody. It's just a matter of, this is over a span of a 3-year period, so,
okay, perfect.
you know, just requesting more documentation and getting that to us, and then the committee making a decision on approval and the amount.
Okay.
You know, it may not be next week, but
No, that's
Okay.
fine. And did we send it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, email,
Yeah.
all right,
and then I go ahead and get it to the committee.
okay, all right. we can do
Anybody else
that.
have any questions?
Anything else?
Thank you so much for coming.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Didn't see the bottom sentence you wrote me, Joe, sorry. I did do it the way you asked me, and I didn't know I read it.
Hey, no problem.
All right,
And I figured the big 1 and the big 2 would be.
didn't even, I just came from transportation, I'm running around, so. Trying to keep up with it.
No, I got you.
Is there any applications anyone would like to go back on at this time? to take-
to do the garage.
I would suggest, I think that I see additional documents that some of the applicants had, provided that were requested. I would suggest that you take a look at those, see if they did their due diligence.
That's number 34.
And the garage.
That in the fact you gave us today.
Well, their application might not be, I already gave the application for that.
Have you heard from Crossroads? I think that
35.
they've run into that,
Last week,
prevailing
last-
wage problem, and I think they're going to, we'll see what they actually do officially. I think they're gonna withdraw and resubmit for.
Okay.
I'll look off yours.
Addiction recovery presented additional information, the village of Menarga, with their supervisor provided additional information. The garage out of Gilman provided their information. IMH facility also provided theirs. St. Paul Lutheran School and Sonia Jean DeLong, provided hers. So those are applications 13, 24, 35, 36, 41, and 57. I would suggest that those be the ones the committee looks at.
Agree.
Right.
35, 36, 41, 57.
All right, I have it now, thank you. 57, yeah.
We're looking at.
Yes. Well, this is. You ready?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the resolution to approve the application number 24 for America. Amount of $49,000.
We're not working on that one. We weren't even on that one.
We're doing 35.
Making a motion.
But we need to get it back out then. Okay, we can look at
24.
24.
Going to 24.
That's what I said.
I gotta find 24. It's buried 24.
Well, what did we ask them for, John? Did we get quotes? I mean,
Yes.
we got it.
And they submitted that, I was able to get that.
So,
It was in our email.
That amount, the amount of money, they're gonna do all the installation, what they're wanting for is to buy the materials. So, both, really outline,
how much is the quote for?
I think I don't have
I
it.
thought we would have that
I
here.
think it's within $100 of what there is.
Okay, well, I think we should wait for Jill to come back and confirm that, since she's got that. Can we go ahead, and I'm not against, but let's just confirm the amount of the quote is what I'd like to do.
We're doing 35?
Yes.
35.
We're waiting for Jill to come back and confirm, which I guess was in our email.
Which one, 24?
That's what Barb says. And Margo.
Quotes there.
Is here. Number 13.
The sheet that has the quotes on it, has each pump was.
This should go last one.
Village
Which
of
one
America.
is she?
I mean, this here. Yeah, it says, quote says 49,125.
We still got a motion resolution already on the floor.
This is.
Motion to 40. Yeah, we need to.
When I said it.
I know. Times. I'll make sure the math is right.
All right, so that one there.
It's pretty interesting how they could educate guess.
Well, this quote says. Second, 49,125, correct? I second that.
All right, so we've had a motion and a resolution, we've had a second. What do you want to do?
Crone,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Ducat,
Yes.
you wanna talk about 35, I have a question.
Yeah.
My understanding is that building is owned by a private citizen.
I have a note on there. We asked them, do they own the building? It says donated by Coons, Koonce.
I guess we should verify that. What I was told, which may not be accurate, was that he still owns the building.
Okay, we want it titled in their name.
I think we should check, verify that. I was just told that within the last day or so, so I haven't had a chance to really.
I'm wondering if we could just trot right down the hall ourselves and find that out.
I can text them.
Is
She would know.
at 140 North Central? Well, I agree, we need an answer to that question.
I think it's important because what they're asking for is stuff that they're important to solve.
I know.
Would you like me to run down somewhere and check?
Would you, well, Mr. Chairman, would you like to have that done?
Would you mind doing that?
Sure.
Bill?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
140 North Central where?
Gilman, ask,
What's the name of the guy that's
ask either Kurt or, actually maybe Bob.
Should be coming.
Okay.
I'll number it back.
All right.
I was thinking the tax bill would.
But I'm texting about the way.
But the deed, yeah, the county.
County clerk is the best
Clerk.
way, that's where the deeds be recorded.
Gotcha. We'll be right back.
So maybe we'll pause for a minute until we get Jill and Paul back.
Go to another one if you want.
Or we could dig it out.
Yeah, let's figure it out.
So we've done 24, we're working on 35.
41 is one I'd like to have us do also.
Do you want me to skip your role?
I said I would like us to, I didn't say.
I'd like to move on this one today too. 41. We're waiting on some information on 35. We can't really vote on anything.
Okay.
41.
Do we have all the information on number 41, Joe?
They provided the information that was requested of them, yes.
How about 33? I'm digging that one out now. See what we asked him for.
That's the list that she gave. You're just
No,
picking
I'm
one.
picking that one out. Oh, I have. I didn't make any notes on that one.
Yes, they provided all their additional information as well.
41, I think, is very important because of the
Water portion.
water condition there, so.
Yes.
Somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion. I move to adopt. No, he's not. Don't you think we should wait on Paul?
Yeah. And what application are you talking about?
41.
41. Same one.
Yes.
Where did he go?
He went to check on who owns,
I thought I was.
well,
I'm sorry,
it's okay.
down here, I can't always see who's left and who isn't. Sorry.
I don't know what they're doing. Do you want me to go check on them?
Let's do
Well, I
that.
was playing animal control. Yeah, they provided St. Paul's, this is application 41, they provided them their, engineers, well water arsenic removal system estimates that were requested.
Did we ask them
Does
for,
that equal the exact amount that they've asked for,
Um,
2,000?
The supplier cost is $21,590, and they requested an even $22,000.
21,500?
See that?
That's what
well,
we
yes, I
should
tried to move it ahead, but we held it back. We've
Thank
got
you.
3 other
Do
things
you,
to overlook at.
print out that stuff, you know, when you get the,
Yeah, I sent you this in an email.
Did you hear what she said?
yeah, but I mean for here.
21,590.
Yeah.
So, put us back on 35.
Okay, so let's go back to 35 while I'm here now.
We got a motion on number, other one, let's just finish that up.
You already got a motion and a resolution
Started
started?
a motion on number
41.
41. I'll second.
41.
That's St. Paul's Water, and we've got a quote, this what they want for the, for the
41?
water. So I didn't make that for exactly
So it's $21,590.
21,590.
that. 590. Who's their quote from?
They originally. It is the town engineer, where they're out of, Woodward. But it's putting in a filter, oxidation equipment, looks like a reaction tank, CN filter, and water softener, plumbing materials and installation and backwashing.
There are some well heaters out in that area, so no, they might also be qualified for this, so. Did I start a motion and then stop?
Yes.
Okay. I move to adopt a resolution for St. Paul's Lutheran Schools application in the amount of their quote, $21,590.
I'll second.
Give a second. Amanda?
Pearl,
Yes.
Awful,
Yeah.
Sure,
Yep.
All,
Yes.
Ducat.
Yes. And that passes.
Now we wanna get back to 35.
All right, let's get up to 41 here. Get back.
Who owns the building?
Who owns the building?
They do,
Who?
they do.
The garage
You have
does?
to exempt too, just so you know
Oh,
that.
yeah, they were gifted,
Donated.
donated it.
We were, that was discussion while you were out of the room. That's the
Because
number.
Sorry,
I was told that wasn't the case, but
Oh, they told you wrong.
told us.
You got that.
Well, I went to Kurt and I went to, your clerk and they both told me it's
Like I
exempt.
said, what somebody tells you isn't always accurate.
Would you like the parcel number?
She says, no, the garage owns the building in the block north of the building.
I got it. Solid proof.
How much are we gonna give them?
Well, that's the question. I know what they want, but
But they're not asking for the bathroom now because of the code.
Okay. So they need HVAC, refrigerator, we verified ownership. They're funded by donations. They've gotten grants for electrical, I can't even read my own writing here. Something and equipment, laptop, sound acoustics, exterior lighting, an AED defibrillator, and tuck pointing.
where's the quote at? Who's got
And
the
she
quote?
gave us the quote.
Show me the quotes, please.
What did the letter say? That they're not doing the bathroom because of the quotes are higher than thought.
And they're the organization that's getting no money from Gilman,
Sorry.
That's right. And it's a good organization.
And there was a fire next door that damaged their building.
Huge.
So So they get insurance money from the
Oh,
people next
behind
door?
them.
They move their building?
I, you didn't ask him that, it's just an announcement.
Is that something you need to ask them? I mean,
We got the whole
it does,
downtown.
but still, just want to make sure. We got 3,500 for handicap, let's find the,
What are you doing now?
The,
looking at quotes.
estimate, I believe it was like 9,000 for their furnace and HVAC system. That would benefit them
Oh,
tremendously.
Yeah.
read to us about.
And the air conditioning.
Yeah, air conditioning, they want 24,000 for one, they want $11,410 for another, and then they want another one for 5,763 totaling, that's just the HVAC. The total is not, yes. And then all together, one, two, there is no final price, so I gotta add myself.
Yeah, there's another.
It says 45,000. Is that their application?
Right, they're still going with 45
And then
now.
4, and then 46, what am I doing? It's 42,000 just for the HVAC.
Wait a minute, they've got quotes here, and we're gonna have to analyze these, because apparently it's broken down into 3 sections. This is 2560.
That's 28.
Well, this one looks like it's 35.
28, 74, 82.
They do have 3 HVAC quotes. Maybe this is a situation where we pick one of their projects and fund it.
If you're gonna do that, maybe we need to talk to them and see which one they want
Right.
to do the most.
Yeah, they,
There's a drawing.
that's just a drawing of what they're gonna need.
Oh, this is
Refrigerator.
the refrigerator, and I think this, I think
Refrigerator's
they
mine here.
asked for a
Oh, so that's
garage,
much money they raised with 30.
right, and they asked for a garage door and some door.
They got it.
I'm asking, did insurance pay for any of that fire damage? If, part of it's okay, which one is needed?
Okay, let me set that aside and come back to it when we get into the code.
I agree if everybody else agrees with that.
What?
Set
Set
it
it
aside
aside.
until she answers you.
Because they're all over the place.
Which one of those is the lowest though, if we chose just one?
Which, well, we looking for?
HVAC. HVAC.
The
Give me
HVAC,
the numbers.
everything is right around 35,000. Around 40,000. You're still looking around 30,000.
I think there's confusion there, we need to talk to them.
It's all over the place.
You want to come in?
Yeah. I think that'd be best. Joe, would you please ask him for the next meeting to come in and say hi? And just explain some of the conversations about the HVAC. Because we want to help them, it's just that.
guys doing?
Right, but
You guys gotta talk this way too.
no, I'm battling myself, I'm sorry. 57, Jill said that she came back and brought, is that correct?
That's one of the individual ones, and when we consider those, I'd like to look at them all together and look at a flat fee if we consider that.
So that's what we look at.
What did she bring you, Jill? I can't remember. I'm getting her application. What did that we ask for?
The electric, a copy of the electric bill, a copy of 2 years of tax return.
A
Sorry.
quote to repair the furnace,
Yeah, I'm just looking.
the foreclosure notice.
Insurance paid fire damage, HVAC project. Yeah, that'd be the best, because then we can figure it out.
She provided, an estimate of her real estate redemptions, a letter from Milford Building and Loan, for a loan payment of approximately $2,289.54 of being delinquent. She provided a gas bill. She also provided, it was asked that she provide electric bill, cultural furnaces, and 2 tax returns. She had a narrative that was originally with her application. She also provided positive documentation for, COVID-19. And she provided her Ameren bill, a copy of, quote for the furnace, and her mortgage information and 2 years worth of taxes. So she provided everything. I would agree with what was said about any sort of a loan forgiveness, applications that we get. If you wanted to set a certain amount for those, that would probably wise.
Are we all in agreement, we told we were closer to the end to do all the interviews at once?
My suggestion would be that we look at these other applications that we have for sewer infrastructure.
So let's finish that up today then.
Donovan.
We have like number 18 for Clifton. Gilman,
18.
Barkley and Donovan have made applications.
18 for Clifton,
These are all projects that, the funds that are done have long range implications. I think that's excellent use of the money. Because it benefits, it should benefit large numbers of individuals as well.
all right, well, we can start with the first one, which was number 18, Village of Clifton. They did not change their application or come back to us. But there was a conversation I had last night, that they are going to redo their application. I did explain to the gentleman that you're way behind compared to everybody else. Everybody else is putting in their paperwork. They waited quite a long time, but they still have time to put their application in. So at this point, number 18, we have to wait till they actually,
Okay, that's fine,
if
that's fine.
you wanna move down next to, the Village of Danvers, we took care of that. The Village of Nard, we just took care of. I believe 25 on the sidewalk ADA, which is number 25. That is not really COVID.
They don't, yeah, they're not, they're more interested in what we approve.
Okay, that's great. I'm just gonna keep moving through these.
They're separated out into.
And if I miss one, John, please speak up.
The next one that had to do with sewer, I think, was Gilman, number 37.
Right. Here you go, this is easy.
for number 47 we're on there.
So 47, Gilman and Menard, or
Yes.
City of Gilman, Gilman and Menard.
John, would you like to go up 47 and start conversations about that one?
I really don't know a whole lot about the projects, and
They provided a letter stating that the sanitary sewer system was built in 1930. The tile used, was concrete, and throughout the years, sewer gases have eaten away at the concrete. Last fall, they had a main collapse, which they had to replace on an emergency basis, and that cost was $150,000 approximately. The city has been proactive in replacing sewer mains and trunk lines, but still has a long way to go, getting the sanitary sewer lines up to date. City is in the process of trying to obtain a $2.4 million loan from the EPA to do the last section of their main trunk line. There are still many main lines that feed into the trunk lines that need to be replaced. One section is located from 5th to 7th Streets in the alley between Hartwell and Maple, and is approximately 1,000 feet in length. And the engineer's estimate for the project is around $300,000. The city of Gilman would like to request ARPA funds in the amount of $250,000 for the project, and that was signed by Mayor Rick Teasfield. They provided COVID-related receipts of the local cure program, which they expended $30,916.62. The city of Gilman also received $112,289.92 in ARPA funds, which they also have expended 9/8/21. Provided us a copy of their ARPA award check and also a copy of the cures check.
Am I correct in stating that we invited them to come in and speak to us and didn't show, or is?
I didn't think
We know between the county and the city of Gilman, there are certain things like, I'll just say like joint dispatch, they're not even paying for. My thought is I'd like to see the county board chairman go have a conversation with the mayor and see if he can't work something out between the mayor and the county, because we do want to help the people of Gilman, but we also want to get reciprocated too.
So you want to just request his presence at the next meeting?
I'll be happy to speak to the mayor, but I cannot do it with the court.
Okay.
The other thing is,
But we can't talk about mutual cooperation.
Correct, that's what I'd like to hear.
I'm also curious what they did with the ARPA funds that they received.
They said in the letter that they had replaced the main,
Oh,
trunk.
I was sort of listening and reading.
Right? But they still had additional work to do, so
Sewer
this was
lines.
specific work that they were asking them
I can vouch for it because it's a mess and it's
for.
around my house, actually.
That's your town. What's your thoughts on, do you want to go with John and go to the next board meeting?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think's best between the both of you?
I think I've got somewhat of a relationship with the mayor that I can probably handle it.
Is that okay with the rest of the board?
I think it'd be nice to take part of it on.
Oh, yeah,
In the meantime, I'm going to email a request of a quote, for the lines that they'd like to have replaced, but they did not provide that.
Right, no
No,
quote.
thank you so much.
Quote on
But
Quotes or estimates on what the work they want to, that they're wanting to do.
Mr. Chairman, when I said I've got somewhat of a relationship, I'm saying I don't touch it.
Yeah.
that's okay. That's more than I've done with them.
I think the next one that I had on my list for the sewer stuff was number 66,
Okay.
which is in Buckley.
We got 65 too for the water loop, but they called that one out, right? Or they put that back in?
I think,
Which one?
65 for the village of Danvers. I knew they pulled one out,
Yeah,
so not worry about 65?
yeah, we already approved
No,
one for,
not for the village of Danvers, for the water loop completion.
no, but for something else,
Right,
sewer
right, right.
water related, correct?
Correct. So we'll go to 66.
Which one is? We'll come back.
And the new tiles you gave us.
Danvers put in two applications, one was for the meters and one was for the lines. You approved the purchase of the meters.
They changed the one because they wanna go under the highway.
Right, so they withdrew, from what I understood, they withdrew application 65 and are gonna look at reapplying. Cause they'll need to get
But we don't
different.
have anything for that, right?
Danvers, no, they already got awarded funds for the meter replacement.
All right, 66.
It's on your summary sheet what they got awarded.
Touchless towel dispensers.
touchless towel.
This one,
Police salary.
this one I would like to see we hold on because,
That's what they received money for. Their request kits.
okay, you're right, never mind.
Thank you, sorry,
I
I'm,
withdraw
yeah.
my thought process.
that one that grabbed me.
It's
Take it back.
draining and tile.
Right. And I don't, I see a drawing of where they wanna go, but I don't see any quotes.
There's a quote
Yeah,
by
Billy.
Merle Roy Construction out of Paxton, to dig, backfill, and install main storm tile, dig, backfill, and
Oh,
install
and
double wall
inspect,
storm tile, separate all topsoil and clay, use bedding stone when needed, and install drain basin for $87,785, which is what they're requesting. The railroad to the drainage ditch is 1,925 feet, and tile from the main across west end of lake to north, then east to near ball field is 1,000 feet.
And that's what we have to draw.
Right, and they provided the police salary and taxes amounts for their tiers reimbursement. Also cleaning supplies that were paid for, that they got reimbursed for tiers, and the touchless.
Do we know if they used their ARPA money they got for the town? That's been used up yet? No, it's not on there, so.
I don't know.
Just for reference, they got $73,681.76. That's what all these towns have got, a certain amount of money.
73,000 they got.
I'll read it again, sorry.
Yeah, I'd kinda like to know.
Buckley Village and Iroquois got $73,681.76.
if
Now, they may only got a half of that so far, but they're gonna get the other half just like we do when we get our second half.
You know, we should reach out to
I would think so, to ask them if they've used that money, if they've allocated it.
Mr. Shuckley
Where it went to.
and find out where, and if their ARPA funds have been.
Sorry about that, I just had to find that.
I guess that takes me to number 68.
73,861, or 681?
Okay, 681, 76.
I'm gonna set it too.
That'd be a village of Donovan and pump house.
Number 68.
And they provided two quotes.
66.
68.
We'll get there, I promise.
Oh, I thought you,
No, I'm just on this.
okay.
4, 5, 6, 7.
They got 18,643.60 and we're gonna get another later.
They got whole list of projects here, we got the same information.
If I was gonna see anything, I'd like to see the pump house done and the backup well done for them, would be 68 and 70. The other is just a park and recreation. The other one is just an enclosure pavilion. I understand another one's for a building extension. I understand it. They all need these things, but for the majority, the largest amount of people that we can affect positively would be the pump house, because they don't have a chlorine room anymore down there. And also, when I was down there, speaking to him on this, if I went over and touched the pump house, it would fell over. So I would definitely, yeah, it's.
68 and 70, is what I got on my list.
Yep, I agree with you on both of those. It doesn't affect me personally, but it will, Iroquois County, and it affects the people of Iroquois County, especially obviously in Donovan. I'm just saying I'd like to see those two taken care of for them, because
It seems
they
like-
have major issues.
It seems like with water and sewer infrastructures for villages or cities, you're kind of averaging around the 40 to 45 mark. So, I just want you to be cognizant of that.
So actually, the total of their two would be 98.5. Oh, well, they asked for,
But we need to do a separate resolution for each of these.
yes, I understand.
Yes.
So what-
Keep in mind if you do both, and then Donovan is receiving
Well,
double of what you've awarded the other villages and towns.
That's
If,
right.
if you approve both applications, then they're receiving double of what the other villages and towns have been awarded so far.
Okay, so. Sometimes there's a bigger need than others.
Secondary road.
Sometimes they don't apply for it.
Agreed, I'm just here to present all sides. I'm neutral.
I guess I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution for Donovan's pump house in the amount of $48,500.
That application 68.
Do we have, yes, do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Amanda?
Crowe,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Ducat.
Yes.
And what is that one for? If you went with it?
It's the well house, and he said he could blow on it.
I move to adopt a resolution to award the Village of Donovan $50,000 for the purpose of building a, whatever, what is this one?
The backup well house.
Backup well house.
I have a second?
Yes.
No, that's the second well house, the first one's all right?
That's the pump house, and you're gonna have the well house, yes.
So there's two well houses?
There's so much more that they could use in that town, so well house is second.
So the first one's for a pump house, the second one is for a well house?
Yes.
So that's a total
They're
actually.
totally different places. And if you saw them, Bill, it's rotten wood and
It's totally your decision, I'm just.
it's a
giving
nightmare of a situation. I
You
could,
could blow them over.
I could, and I'm not even the big bad wolf.
You're not a big blowhard?
I don't wanna know how else.
Somebody second it already?
John,
Mina, would you please?
Crowe,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Ducat.
Yes.
So just for clarification, we've just given Donovan 98.5,
Yes.
and we approved something there previously, didn't we?
No?
No,
No.
we approved Danford.
Okay,
Danforth was the other one?
Danforth, that's right.
So we did 4 so far this morning.
Yes, I have application 41 for St. Paul, Lutheran School of Water, and 24 for Narga sewer grinders, 68 and 70 both for Donovan, one for a pump house and one for a well house.
So Gilman and Clifton are on hold, and we have sorry, did we do 77?
Not yet, but it would be next.
That'd be Mark and Jim, what did I ask for? 77?
Martinson Drainage District number 3 is requesting funds to assist with adding a new drainage tile south of the village of Martinson. During the previous 8 years, floodwaters have entered the village at least 3 times during heavy rain periods, affecting approximately 10 homes. Crawl spaces, basements, lawns, gardens, and outbuildings have been affected and or damaged by these floodwaters. In addition, approximately 30 acres of standing crops have been damaged or killed due to residue floodwater, In the future, it is assumed weather patterns will continue. Drainage ditch located directly south of the village limits and is connected to another drainage ditch south of town. The plan includes adding an additional larger tile in an effort to alleviate stormwater runoff. Estimates are $118,000 and include all work needed for the project. The drainage district is reportedly the largest in Iroquois County and has an annual budget of $80,000. However, other projects are slated for annual revenue. We intend to start the project in the fall of 2022 as soon as the crops are harvested. This is a much needed project and we thank you for your consideration.
Put in the application.
Harmon Schultz? I think.
Harmon Schultz.
I can tell
Looks like
you-
for the first name, but it's definitely Schultz.
I know from all
So
the
the project is, what was the total cost of the project?
The total cost of the project is $118,000
Estimated.
estimated. They didn't provide any estimate, but they're asking for 40 now.
I spoke with them at the Beaverville Township. They will be happy if they can get anything to help out to get started, and they will finish it. So, it's up to everyone here what your thoughts are, and what
I
you want to
think
give
you
them.
need to request the estimates and quotes.
That'd be great, thank you.
Because they did not provide anything but a narrative.
Would you please invite them to the next meeting?
Do you want them invited to the next meeting?
I
or
think
just want
so.
the information?
No, let's invite them and have a conversation.
Okay.
And get the quotes so we have them
Two.
lined up.
Two quotes.
Yes. But I do know when speaking to them at the Beaverville Township, they'll be happy for anything because of the water damage, how bad it is for the residents over there.
Okay, out of the ones that we had numbered, we haven't done 13 or 36 yet.
Correct. But I'm gonna move over really fast, if it's okay with you. I would like to go to. Where you at?
73.
What do you want, John?
73.
For which one? For, the audio video project?
No, I'd like to talk about that.
I would actually like to work with the, 2 people that are in the building right now and get them out of here if they need to get on to other things.
What number are they?
I'm digging them up.
Huh?
I'm looking for you, Mike, I'm sorry.
Addiction recovery is 13.
No, I was looking for,
And IMH
yes,
is 36.
So which are these people?
13.
36, I believe.
Which one are we doing, 36 or?
36,
13 and 36.
let's do 36 first.
Okay.
Mike, do you wanna? We touched on this last month also. As I have a city, present about 340, so.
got the quotes done?
Mhm.
Did you get the quotes?
Yes. Yes, we're supposed to turn them in.
So, okay, do we have those? Yeah.
So you've got a, sales acknowledgement from GE Healthcare in the amount of $80,033.62.
An acknowledgement, does that mean this is reimbursement, that it's been purchased? No?
It's like a,
How much did you say?
$80,033.62. So it's been ordered.
Pending,
Yeah, okay.
pending,
Approved. And that's for what?
So one more thing.
Are you looking at me like, Don, I just told you this?
No, I'm not looking at you like anything. There's just a lot of things on here.
Well, could we take a look?
Mm-hmm, for sure. I, emailed to these two as well, but.
Okay, we're still talking about, just to clarify, carpet replacement, parking lot repair, telemetry upgrade, and pharmacy system.
yes.
I think when we talked about this last month, there was a lot of interest in the pharmacy.
It was more of also getting them also a negative pressure room.
Right,
Since all the nursing homes are asking for it, I think it'd be very intelligent to have the one hospital we have in Hvac County have that.
Negative pressure room intrigues me as well. I did know one patient who had to go out of county for that. But with one negative pressure room in the county at the hospital, because we've had another request for that, that would serve the area to have one.
We requested two, I submitted,
Okay, I'd forgotten
yeah,
that.
because in that original request,
In the
the
original.
questions were not in there, so we submitted an additional request 2 weeks ago or last week, I can't remember what date.
The paperwork's in.
The paperwork's in there for health pad, negative pressure room, and lost revenues.
I'm a little bit behind.
No, that's fine.
I confess, I'm a little bit behind.
And the price was for both of those?
But the amount requested hasn't changed.
The requested amount has not
Yeah, the
changed.
negative pressure room is for $58,000, which includes the HVAC, mechanical, and electrical improvements to accommodate. And then the health pad is a separate request. Economic impact is also a separate request based on, COVID loss revenue for the community service. I apologize too, I don't have our CFO with us, so those types of answers, or questions might be difficult, I didn't know if we were on the agenda or not. But I'm happy to be.
The original request was for carpet, parking lot, telemetry, and pharmacy. They provided additional information on the negative pressure rooms and the
Which-
helipad, correct?
Which I clearly missed.
But they
somewhere
haven't
along the line.
changed the amount requested of $600,000.
Yes, Steve.
I don't have anything to do with IMH's application, but I have information that I would like for you to consider. The number of tuberculosis cases in the United States is drastically increasing. One of the reasons is because we have open borders.
Well,
And people are coming to the United States because they know that they can get free healthcare. And so India is having a major crisis, Central Mexico is having a major crisis with tuberculosis. We are going to see tuberculosis cases in Hvac County. We're going to see tuberculosis cases across the United States, and they're going to be bad. We're going to see medicinal resistant strains of tuberculosis, we're going to see XDR strains, we're going to see a mess. We have to have those negative pressure rooms. If you, I don't have any bearing on their application, but as a public health administrator for this county, that is something that we need to be thinking about, because the next problem isn't gonna be COVID, it's gonna be TB, and it's gonna be 50 times worse than COVID ever, we ever thought COVID was. It's going to be bad.
Is there vaccination? There's no
No.
vaccination for TB.
No.
We have,
And the treatment for tuberculosis is a year, and the average treatment is unbelievable. We have to do direct observation therapy so that they don't develop a medicinal resistant strain. So we have to watch them take their medicine every day. We have tuberculosis cases. We just finished a case here in Iroquois County where for the last year, we've watched somebody take their medicine every day. It's our job to make sure that we don't develop medicinal resistant strains. So those negative pressure rooms, I'm begging you for those on behalf of my
I appreciate that.
And
I will add, we do have in the hospital some negative pressure rooms now, and this is for the nursing homes. But what we're hearing is just, I think, a lot of need for a local hospital to be prepared for the next pandemic, next whatever we may see. And negative pressure rooms are a part of that, but also having one place in the county that has a helipad, all the needs are, I think, here in the county for supporting a hospital.
So for 2 negative pressure rooms, we're looking at $58,000, is
Yes,
that correct?
which includes electrical.
And how many do we have now?
Well, in the hospital, I'd have to go look, I think it was 4 or 6, I can't remember.
Really? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because, but that's for hospital beds in a 25-bed hospital. And, you know, it's even more critical. It's actually critical that they would all be negative pressure, to be honest with you. But retrofitting old buildings has its challenges. But adding it to the nursing home would be good too.
And the helipad is 70,000. Now we have one of those, so is this for?
Well, that's for the current. The current is in dire need of upgrades, repairs, all the above. I think it's critical access to the hospital, critical.
And
Yes,
because I have to be humble, what was the cost for the pharmacy upgrade? 259,000. Okay, so what you missed, and I'll share these documents with anybody who wants to
Which
see.
it is a lot. I mean, honestly, the total is about 1.2 million now.
To us, and he told us about the threat of TB, immigrants, things like that. So, he's asking for 2 negative pressure rooms at 58,000, and he's unsure, but they do currently have 4 or 6.
I think it's 6, actually. When you drive along, actually, if you're along the east side of the hospital, you can see the rooms with ductwork going into them, so
Okay.
you can actually see what rooms are. If you're driving along the east side of the hospital, you can see what rooms are negative pressure just by looking on the wall, because they have to have external, airflow to have a negative pressure.
Sure. So, anyway, Dee had something to say about that, and then the helipad is in dire need of repair. That's where the helicopters went. And this is, we had really talked about the pharmacy and the telemetry.
That's the way we're at.
That's where we were, so.
I said my main concern is we want to take care of the hospital.
Does anybody
because
else
it takes
want
care of
to
the county.
look at this?
I would add to what has been said too, at the hospital, you know, lost revenue was close to $10 million over that 2 cycle due to COVID, as reported by our auditors, as an audited financial report. But we also end up taking care of all indigent care. When we have an influx of people from either out of the country, Airport Memorial Hospital has a trip to take care of that, and it's at our expense. These are awful lost revenues, but it's a benefit of the county if they're not taken care of, they're here, they're not taken care of.
Spread their germs.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I can't even imagine what you guys lost in revenue over not being able to do elective surgeries. When the government shut that down, you know,
Right.
it's my opinion, and for take it or leave it, that the American Recovery Act funds should be recovery. And that is exactly what it should be for.
Well,
And
our
you need that recovery
Our
because
auditor's opinion
you
was
were
it was
not allowed,
9.4 million.
yeah, you were not allowed to get, you know.
Yeah, we have opinions and an auditor's qualified opinion is 9.4 million, so.
I know, I'm being extremely vocal, but I have very strong feelings about this, very strong feelings.
didn't necessarily come today with a presentation, but if you need any information, that's what we'll make sure we get to you.
Outstanding for the residents of this county, very excited. Outstanding. We could not have asked for better. So good.
You're higher than me then.
This.
Jill, as, we're moving through today, as you know, financially, money is moving. If I'm gonna ask you where we're at on financials from what we've already approved today, I apologize to put you on the spot, can you put me where we're at?
What did you say? I got two things
I'm
going on here.
sorry, I've asked for financially to know where we're at right now with all the approvals already done today. We need to start thinking of
That's fine. Just looking at separate.
Okay, so far to date, the amount awarded from the funds that we currently have been in the amount of $1,080,233.13.
$1,080,000.
$233.13.
and that's how much we've spent. Okay,
Not today, but all along.
Well, including the more that you observed.
1,000, 1,000,000, sorry,
Yeah.
1,000,000, 200, 1,080,000.
213.
80,000. 233.13. Okay. Which is good.
I guess I have a question for Joe. If we approve these things for the hospital, is it better to approve the different ones on separate resolutions or all in one from a paperwork processing standpoint and whatnot? Because they're all separate projects, even though they're at the hospital.
Right, what I would suggest is doing is separate, I'm not sure which ones you're thinking about approving, but I would separate them.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
We've been separating the, when we approved somebody for money and everyone else.
I'll just add, I did separate them specifically in case it was easier for me. I specifically created separate requests. So whatever's easiest for you would work for us, of course.
I move to adopt a resolution to award Iroquois Memorial Hospital $259,000 for the purpose of its upgrading and, for the purpose of upgrading their pharmacy system.
Second.
Amanda?
Crowe,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
Alt,
Yes.
Ducat,
Yes. Motion passes.
I move a resolution to, upgrade the telemetry for $81,000.
Second. John, seconds. Amanda, if you would please.
Crowe,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Ducat,
Yes. Motion passes. Next.
Your turn, John.
John?
Charlie?
Charlie is here. Charlie, you want to do the next one?
No, go ahead.
All right,
I don't think Paul should.
I won't. I'd like to, but.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, I make a motion, we adopt a resolution in the amount of $58,000 for IMH to be used for 2 negative pressure rooms
That would be 160 for two fresh rooms, are correct, is that correct?
No,
No,
two
58.
freshman rooms would be 58.
All right, I just wanted to clarify that.
That is correct. So we were under.
Thank you, so we have a motion on the floor.
Second.
58.
Sorry, I apologize. Amanda?
Crowe,
Yes.
Alford,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Yes.
Stukat,
Yep.
Anybody else motioning in?
Charlie, you want to
We're
go
not
from here or
doing the
no?
parking lot or the carpet.
So while we're right here right now,
398,000.
we're at 398. I was looking, or you want to do the helipad? How much is the helipad?
70.
70, or if we did the parking lot repair, could you use that also for the helipad? Is that gonna be, no?
I don't think we would get both done for that.
Okay.
But honestly, if you approved, we would try to get it done for that, I can tell you that.
I know, I'm with you, I'm asking.
Which one do
It
you,
wouldn't cover.
which one do you think would be more important to you?
Right, so,
What do you think would be more
I know.
important?
Well,
I think the parking lot repair.
If you approve the parking lot, it makes it easier to afford both, because it's a lot more money.
Right.
And I don't know how to answer that.
No, I totally
You know what I'm
understand.
saying?
200,000, these are 70,000, I get it.
Yes.
If the helipad is deteriorating and a helicopter lands and kicks up the stone onto its rotor blades, you're gonna have a lot of problems.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
One problem.
I move to adopt a resolution to award Iroquois Memorial Hospital $70,000 for the purpose of upgrading the helipad.
Second.
Amanda?
Crowe,
Yes.
Alford,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Stukat,
Yes.
Is this yours? Oh, yeah.
Jill, where you at?
468,000.
Hey, Paul, can I just add, projects like the parking lot, if the board would wanna approve a part of it, then we would do what we can get done to get the most important parts of the parking lot, things like that, you know.
Agree.
Wouldn't always have to be the full amount, that is our estimate for everything that we believe is necessary at this time. Doesn't mean we can't prioritize.
We've just, that puts our total at $1,548,233.
Right, we're doing great. Then that'd be it.
With those added amounts, then you're at $1,548,233.15.
If we were to give you the 100,000 for the parking lot repair, that would get you started, do you believe that you could finish it?
I would we would get everything that done that is critical, we would definitely spend more than $100,000.
But you can get her done?
Oh, yeah.
Would
And
it
that-
be admittable in the next 2 years, to get that parking lot done and then put in a request for reimbursement?
Yes. I see what you're saying.
Ask for the reimbursement after we get it done.
If there's still money remaining,
Oh,
for everything else we're trying, okay.
Definitely.
Why don't we do that?
Kind of keep an eye on what you have awarded.
So you would award maybe 100 now, you're saying?
Depends if somebody,
You know?
Well, I will,
Or we could, the thought is you can give them money today, or we can wait and see if there's any money at the end and reimburse, but we got,
or we could give them half of it today and whatever more it costs, we could also give it to them at the end.
If you were awarded half, is it something in the next 2 years that the hospital could complete with only half?
Yes. We would get going and whatever we need.
well, I make a resolution for $100,000 $200,000, for half of the $200,000 to IMH.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Amanda, would you please?
Crowell.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Hvac.
Yes. Yeah, you got a lot of work ahead of you coming up.
That's what it is. Just started.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
for coming out. All right. Yes, number 13, please. Should be addiction recovery.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Very sorry, thank you.
Sheila, is there any questions that you have for addiction recovery before we invite them up here to speak on their behalf for the application?
No, I didn't have any.
Okay. Number 13. John and Monica, if you want to come up. Or stay there. Stay right there.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us.
Was there a change in your application?
Yes, we did an update that we provided last week with Jill.
So you're gonna, I'm probably gonna ask for the application. I've got the old one, sorry. Yeah, I got the old ones. Where's the college? So we have a green folder on this one. No, you're.
We spent a 96.
Right.
96.5.
This is.
Thank you so much. Ginger, thank you so much. Addiction recovery.
So is your office in Iroquois County then? This says something about Chicago office.
So we originated and we do have a branch in Chicago, which is our main headquarters. And right now, we're in the process of establishing an office. We have a proposed lease. They were ready to enter, however, we met with the hospital earlier today, which would have been Mike's assistant, right? Michelle. And they asked us for a few more days on their end so they can analyze if we would be a good fit to have at the hospital.
So they might have space for you there?
Yes, they do have space, and then, with some of our prior, commitments and obligations already to that we made promise to the county, we also reached out to the hospital. How much of our services can they benefit having us on site at the hospital? As some of the topics we were talking about, Mike left, so, and I don't even know if he was briefed on, some of our conversations, but some of the mental health and, substance use is overcrowding the hospitals as well. So our approach, as we were mentioning to you guys the first time, it's not only to cater to clients, but we're also here to assist the county, help to be able to save some costs and become more productive as a team. So some of the big things that we're witnessing in the emergency rooms, there's clients, basically, we call them hallway killers. They would be stuck there waiting for whether either a mental health or substance use treatment center where they would take sometimes days and in some cases weeks till they find an appropriate place for them. So the idea is with some of the work that we're already providing to the county is to use us as a resource to be able to immediately have a way and a place to transport these patients. So So some of the things that come out pretty often is reasons right now, they are lady next to us, that yes, we are Chicago-based. And yes, some of the sober house is actually in Chicago, that we would be, utilizing to move any of the homeless populations or sober house model clients, patients would be transported to the recovery home, yeah.
Have you applied for, ARPA in Chicago area?
We have not.
Were you awarded the grant, from the 708 board in the amount of 200,000?
Yes, we were.
You received 200,000
Yes, we
from
did.
the 708 board?
Yes, we did.
How big a capacity does sober living?
300 beds.
300 beds?
Yes, and they're all at, self-pay, meaning that there is no requirement for the clients to pay, and we're not looking for individual funding. They will be able to go in the house, have work, jobs, transportation, pretty much anything.
Be self-sufficient.
Be self-sufficient. So, and back to the question of the Chicago-based, it seems like, after many conversations with a lot of people, when it comes into this type of, need of services, it seems like everyone's agreeing that it would almost be better for some of these people to be able to get away from their daily habits to begin with. Right.
How is sober living funded then, with their 300 beds, if there's no cost to the patient?
So they do pay, but they do pay from the jobs that they receive. So they don't need to pay any amount up front. Once they get into the treatment and once they utilize the sober model, they do have jobs provided to them, and then they start paying into their daily fees.
What kind of jobs? And the reason I'm asking this question is, goes to the issue of sustainability. I'm all for it, but I just really need to be convinced it's sustainable.
If you open up the packet, it has some employment opportunities, there's some examples inside.
Okay, I'm in the tax returns right now, so I'm trying to, I will get there.
Of course.
We'll get there. I got one right here, thank you. She passed them out.
Not only the employment, but it's to provide these individuals with, how to go back to normal living, meaning waking up in the morning, getting dressed, doing your own laundry, having a structure, and not only structure, but 24/7 assistance and,
In other words, we've been referring treating patients from outpatient treatment services to inpatient for over 25 years. We work with Hvac, we work with Haymarket, and a lot of big organizations. And this home-based model, we've been putting a lot of time to it, we donate our time to it, we donate our services to it, is because it is the only one that has its own model of being able to stay self-sufficient, meaning we have people in treatment for 2 years in Haymarket, and they learn not to do drugs, but when they come out, they're not equipped for reentry, whether it's from treatment or jail at that point.
I understand that a large part of the recovery is not that it's difficult to, return home to your same friends and the same old ways, so I do have a understanding of that. So they have to learn a new way. What's the average length of recovery time at sober living? And if that's in there, I apologize for asking.
So I will mention that some people are in there for years, but that's not because they stay as residents, they become part of the team. They get jobs within it, and we've seen that offering those kind of opportunities. We've seen the long-term effect, meaning people need to have something they believe in, something they enjoy, and something that keeps them sober, so we've noticed that a decent amount stays for long term, being on as part of the team versus just a resident. And throughout, I mean, when you look at it from something that size, so for example, we've been visited the jail, we've seen their detox. So over here, we have a 10-room detox that are, it's more of a house bedroom or a hotel room. At the jail, we have a 4x6 metal cage. So as some of the detox and isolation is needed, we're also raising mental health problems at the same time. And we understand the jail when someone's in there for punishment. When we look at that someone's incarcerated for using drugs, not sure if that's the right result.
How much of the money would be used for your equipment?
All of it.
Also, you've been in contact with the sheriff, as you said, in judicial, and you're going, at this time, working with them. Also, you've been in contact with Eric, right behind you, to, you're gonna go in there and educate the call center employees. I'm sorry, Eric, if you wanna go on that real quick.
Well, we have some education after this meeting that we're gonna discuss that will help the telecommunicators grow in their education. So it will help them identify those individuals that are suffering from any type of drug abuse, but also some mental health backgrounds. I'm not sure exactly where that's gonna lead us yet. We haven't had that conversation, but the more education that we can provide within this county, even to start the identification process, is usually a good point where assistance can at minimum be offered. When they're out and in the community, we can always lead the horse to water.
And the idea was to start this pilot program with Eric that we can hopefully transition throughout the county. What we believe in is some of this education, it's not only for the people that will benefit from them themselves, but also the people that they associate with. So what we're looking at is, from this education purpose from the county style, we're looking for savings for the county, meaning if we can get X amount of the personnel to take the education, we may be looking at about 4% or a percentage of insurance discount on general liability, workman's comp, health insurance, and life insurance.
I'm sorry, say that again about the insurances, what was your?
So the part of the pilot program that we've started speaking with Eric is the people who will complete, meaning the employees, this education as well. We can then issue certificates where we could go hopefully back to the insurance company and be able to start seeing the savings what the county spends in health insurance, workman's comp, and general liability. You would be able to take this certificate of the scores to your driving insurance and use it as a awareness driving class to look for discounts also on your car insurance, especially for seniors. So it would be an education, of course. What we would like to do is utilize the rural area, meaning growing up over here, if I don't want to get in trouble in front of my house because nobody knows me, I'll go a block away. Now nobody knows me and I can get in trouble. That works in a city, but in a small town, people know each other. So the stronger that we can become on education, and not only to those that would benefit from this education, but all of us, where we can be stronger in identifying the problem, understanding the problems, and having quick resources for referrals for the problems. So we're researching gambling, we're looking at we're still waiting on some numbers to come in, but during COVID and gambling legalization, the amounts, you guys may know how much more the county drew in gambling during COVID prior to. So initially when we started with the 708 bullet, it was the heavy opioid employees, they're taking us back to their employment. So we really wanted to gear up a team, and what we're asking for here is to make the entire Iroquois County stronger, because we were offered this, subscription-based education to any and every entity in Iroquois County with no charge.
Subscription-based education.
Substance education, correct.
I thought you said subscription, and I didn't know what that was.
It is the pilot model, it is subscription-based, because that is how we will be able to tie in discounts. Whether it was a company of 10 employees, that their employer would be looking at a discount, or an entity as big as yourself,
I see,
Iroquois
so
County.
a business would come and subscribe with you, pay you for your services to,
Offer that education to their employees.
I see.
And same thing for the county. So what we're doing is we're gonna offer the subscription base to everyone in Iroquois County, from municipalities, small businesses, schools, anyone who can benefit from it. Because if you're a small company with 3 employees, it's one thing, but if you're a company of 50 or 200 employees, if you start looking at what we were speaking with Eric, any kind of percentage on a huge amount, we might be able to see some significant savings coming back to the county. And once again, we're not trying to be insurance agents and switch your insurance somewhere else. It would be working with the underwriting from the insurance carriers that the county would have now. But we weren't able to figure it out how much the county spends on insurance in general, and there are different policies, but
Okay, so I understand that. I'd like to return to your original application. If there was something else, I didn't mean to cut you off, that you wanted to get in front of the committee, please finish that.
no, it's okay.
But does anybody else have questions before I?
Go ahead, you start off.
Well, returning to your original, I have a note, in fact, it's not, the 200,000 from the 708 board was allocated. Can
That's
you remind me how, that was spent?
So some of that portion, we would be using for, our office, and some is already going to indigent clients that are in services with now, and the funds that are allocated are for the clients that would be coming in.
In Iroquois County.
In
correct?
Iroquois
Correct,
County.
meaning we don't wanna deploy the funds and not have any money available. to
So you still
supply.
got those funds?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you got a place at the hospital, would that be a gratuitous arrangement, or would you be
We would be
renting?
paying, we
You'd
would
be
be renting, we have to, lease a space with the hospital.
Okay, so, I had notes here, establish a location, we got your financials, telehealth services. Someone told me, have you already done some work at the jail or anywhere else in the
We
county?
have done telehealth services, we're a little bit lacking on marketing, which we were under the impression that we would see more clients, but running ads or things of that nature doesn't always help, so we're really trying to gear up with their, but we have a lot of wonderful people and organizations to work with, that they're getting to know of us for direct referrals. So yes, telehealth services, we're up and running. We're working on inmate program as well, not only just the people who ask for services, but also force education. Meaning we have 17 inmates in jail right now. To the last project that the sheriff Percy's gave out to inmates, we only had 3 feedbacks. Meaning only 3 people took advantage to participate in the assignment that was sent out of 17 at that time. So now the idea is we can't just let them and choose. I mean, if you're already in jail and there's substance use, sure, we can't make them go to treatment, but we could make them take some educational classes, and that would be the inmate program that we want to develop with Sheriff Percy.
So you're a little bit disappointed in the numbers that you.
No, it's nothing new.
We're
It's
learning,
nothing-
we're just learning different approaches, how are we going to spread the awareness and how to properly go about that to get more.
Meaning out of the 17, we only had 3 people talk to us. But I believe it, and we're also waiting on the sheriff to establish it, because it's part of all of this is his telehealth establishment as well. But that means there's 14 other inmates that we can reach out to, not just the 3 that ask for treatment or any kind of help.
I also spoke with the sheriff, just so you know, and what he's gonna do is, if I mental health, I have one, addiction recovery, I have another. That way he's gonna try to keep it fair. That wasn't our conversation. That
And
was keeping the county.
you did a presentation to our judicial meeting where the judges were present.
Yes.
And, I understood there was some interest. Has anything developed in that vein with the judges referring, people to you?
So I'm sure, always have to remember chain of command when it comes, especially when it comes to the judges. They make the decisions.
That's what I'm asking.
So right
when they
now,
make it.
whatever we spoke to them about, we are ready to handle those services. And we are gently approaching the topic, as we're not allowed to sit inside the courtroom and solicit business.
Right.
So we're looking for ways, and we are steady for pushing forward how those clients would be referred to us. So for example, if, whether they would be coming to our outpatient treatment in person or through telehealth, or they would be utilizing the sober home model, it's the same idea for the jail as it is for, we spoke about for the hospital. If they're only in there for drug use and the drug use is the only problem, the judges can then have ability to release them to a sober home versus a jail. And we're able to do reporting on it, meaning everybody that's in the house, we keep track of them. The minute they check out of the treatment or the sober home, we notify the courts and et cetera. So it would have to be a teamwork, and because the court system involves probation and a few other departments, we are steady moving along with all of the entities. So we're hoping to have some kind of a direct referral source from the judges soon. Our flyers are at the courthouse, things of that nature, but that was not enough to put a major impact on what we want to accomplish. So with 708 board, we started out with opiates and the heavy drug users. With what we're speaking to you about now, we want to really imply a model for everywhere, meaning if the clients are taking us to high schools, their employment, or anywhere else, we want to be able to fill in that gap as well.
Question I have for you, if there was, some desired funding available and we did give it to you, how would you keep it going after the funds, ran out?
We are established, we opened in 2007, we're very successful in the city, we are good at what we do, we make profit in the city, we're just new to Iroquois County, so, we've got other locations that we, or other prior commitments that we made, that we use our, main location to fund it, so we have no problems with that.
That's a lot to take in. I think the committee needs to work on this, chew it up someday. Anything different?
Johnny, any questions for him?
There's a lot here to digest. I think what Donna's saying, that we probably really need to try and take some time to digest some of the information that we get.
We've been steady trying to reach out to pretty much, spread you some of that information, because put it this way, I've been working on this for 25 years. I can't expect you to try to understand and grasp everything in one meeting. So we were slowly reaching out, and if we can't get people as a group, we would at least get them individually. But we're also, keep in mind, we're also part of study research that we work with, and whenever it comes to opiates, we study learning and adapting. So the main focus was to have the time and the ability to jump from place to place, from patients, clients, and being able to service the county to be able to bring in some discounts as well in the long run.
So why did you pick Iroquois County?
Well, we were actually invited here to some friends in town, and because of the line of work we were in, they were referring clients to us to Chicago for many years from some of the people in town here. So whether it would be for outpatient treatment services, and these are people that went through the court system, but then they were ready to get their driver's license back, and they had to come and start with us and start treatment all over again, because some of the treatment they had was not acceptable for Secretary of State for their driving privileges. So it seems like sometimes, a person can have a DUI, for example, and be trapped in the system for many, many years.
Now, so I understand there's been a lot said here today. I'm a little bit confused on everything. So is this a facility that you have
So
somewhere?
we are Addiction Recovery Services, and this is one of our linkage partners. So they are an entity of its own. We helped them to start that program since day one, and we are offering our services, which is the outpatient treatment services for that home.
Do you have credentials or anything like that? Where did you get your education?
So we have a staff of
Certified alcohol drug counselors, LCBCs,
medical directors, so we, in order for us to run our agency, we also have a.
Certified through the American Medical Association?
No,
No,
medical
I didn't think
director.
so.
What was your question?
That you're certified through the American Medical Association?
Our medical director.
Our medical director?
Yeah.
You're a medical director, but you're counselors. Your program, is it do you have a certified program?
I can see the woman, yes.
What license?
Licensed by who? What state of Illinois agency
Our
licensed you?
human services.
DHS has issued you a license as a what?
Outpatient, so we're licensed for early intervention, we're,
Outpatient and intensive outpatient.
we have,
Level 1 and 2.
Outpatient level 1 and 2
and I,
for drug rehab.
Substance abuse counseling.
Do we have any more questions for him? Any questions for additional recovery? Thank you both for coming in, we appreciate it.
thank you.
Now, since we've put forward several numbers dealing with water issues and infrastructure issues, and several things related to the county previously, I'd like to pull out number 33 and see what we need from the Historical Society. What did we ask them for last, Joe? My notes are lacking. We asked for quotes, I think, for,
They have not gotten back to us yet.
we have not received those yet?
We have? Awesome. I talked to Paul Roberts, he said stuff he was still working on. I talked to Paul, and he said stuff he was still working on that.
Alright, so 33, the Historical Society provided a copy of their PPP application. They provided a profit and loss statement. They provided a quote for the, I'm gonna say this right, dry wax and concrete.
What's that?
From Mike Montes, Masonry. It says dry wax and concrete at museum, approximately 4,200 square feet.
Could that possibly be a typo? Would it be driveway?
He hand wrote it,
Oh,
so
it could be driveway.
there is another quote in here from Wright Concrete to tear out and haul away any existing parking lot and gravel, so it might be driveway.
That's on the east side of the building.
It doesn't specifically state where. Supply gravel, on-graded compact, prep and pour parking lot, with the reinforced, wire mesh, sealer and saw cuts, any excess to be hauled off, from Wright Brothers out of Sheldon. They provided a copy of, looks like for the mouse, laptop, headsets that they're requesting
Right.
from Walmart as well as Amazon, it looks like. Sorry,
Right is concrete again.
I think they're both parking lot. I think that should say drive, but I could be
Okay.
wrong.
Okay.
They provided a quote from SR Moeller Mechanical for the actuator for steam valve in the courtroom, for $503.45. They also, from Moeller out of Hvac, have an estimate here for replacing bad piping for the radiator and a radiator valve, with fittings for $638. Moeller again for $548 for steam pipes replacements and, replacing thermostats in the quilt room and the genealogy room. Let's see what else we have here. They have a quote in here from, I could be saying this wrong, but Diadem for painting exterior windows. It looks like here the front north side would be $21,800, the west side would be $29,120, and the east side would be $29,120.
Were they gonna replace windows, am I remembering that?
Right.
I think they were.
Reglazed and
This
painted.
says
was two
painting, yeah, painting. This one is, a mason contractor again, out of Donovan, for labor on materials and equipment to hand scrape and remove all loose putty, re-putty the windows when necessary, mark and remove all storm windows, 2 coats of painting, this is handwritten, so I'm sorry. And this is for also, they quoted the front north for 21,000, west side for 27,000, and the east side for 27,000. Invoice here for Moeller, for cleaning soot from the boiler and burner tubes for the boiler and flame sensors. They have also to replace a 4 main steam line and PVC boiler, blow down, drain and piping. Labor to replace damaged thermostats and valves, again, in the quilt room and the courtroom area. And then for the mad burner of the back of the boiler, steel enclosures, replace outdoor junction box, with conduit and wire. They provided the documentation on the Paul and Norma Schaumburg, charitable trust.
What was the amount of that?
$21,800 is what they ended up presenting the Historical Society with.
Okay.
The Iroquois Federal Foundation approved a grant of $5,000 to the Historical Society to help with the painting and reglazing of windows.
What was that, 5,000?
5,000. From Iroquois Federal Foundation.
And was there one before that that I missed?
The one for the Schaumburg.
Got that.
Okay, nope, just those two. And then B&D Enterprises has a quote in here as well for the stairwell, lighting, which is $828.68. Looks like there's a lawn care out of a Narda. I can't read the name, I'm sorry. Remove bushes and seed and trim the hydrangeas is $1,500. And then we have assessment from Ameren on some project costs, let's see here, $2,358. Okay, fixture, this is replacing lighting and lamps, exterior, and then we have another proposal for lighting from Moeller, this is the second one, for $2,000. And then additional $550 for outside. And then there's one here for Moeller, again, this is still lighting for $1,250, as well as stairwell lighting for $700.
Well, is there anything there for a roof?
So what's the total, is that the amount of what you're asking for?
Well, they've got quotes for,
Double quotes.
for, which is what we asked them for.
Yeah, they did provide the quotes in the documentation for the grants and the, money over from the trust.
And they did have a net income apparently.
And it was explained that there was an income only because they ended up letting two employees go.
Right. Excuse me.
Sorry, man. What was the total number for the?
We are trying to jump in about that. Am I?
Do you do water?
Okay. For driveway, we have a quote of 55.9 from
Number 49.
and from the second company,
49.
we have one for 49.
49,000.
Okay.
1658 equipment that they need.
Okay.
You do have to say she was pretty diligent on sending that.
I think so too.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah, she was pretty eager for sure.
So what is this? Oh, this is the laptop. This is for the parts and pieces that go, oh no,
Not the
this,
notebook.
that's the notebook. So this is a second quote.
I believe so.
Yeah, they
Okay.
provided two quotes.
Two
Moeller,
quotes.
or for the laptops and stuff, I believe it was Amazon Walmart.
1509.
But then it doesn't go in the mouse, but.
Yeah, let's do 1658.
Okay. Now, what's this one for? Okay, 4, now we're going to put this under the category of boiler. From the first bidder, we have $500 for a coupled valve, a steam valve. Okay. From the same bidder on the boiler, we're replacing bad piping in the Victorian room, a radiator valve and black pipe, and that's $638. Okay, from the same bidder to replace bad steam pipes in the lower basement, southeast room, troubleshooting heat issues in the courtroom and in the quilt room and genealogy, we're at $548.
And that's it. Nice. This is
So
really
it looks like the boiler needs 500, 600 is 11, and 6 is 1,700. So we've got 1,700 over here. Now we're going back, we're going to the windows.
right here.
And what's he doing for $29,000?
So he's in the north side, the east side, and the west side, what about the south side?
The south side may not have any windows. Does the south side, does anybody know? Does the south
It's
side?
a lot of money for a window.
Yeah, but this is, does this to take out the caulk? Oh,
You're
wait
just
a
gonna
minute.
scrape it out, remove it, and put new in,
Repatio,
and then paint them.
2 coats, Sherwin Williams. But, you know, you have to take into account
I know they're old as, you know what.
and not the, altitude that those windows are at. Will lay down mats to dry from Amazon. Okay, so we're on 29,100 for windows, one bid.
Is there anything in the bid that talks about any rotted wood?
Just a minute, I'm gonna let you look for that, John, I'm just trying to find numbers right now. Labor, material, equipment, hand scrape, remove all loose putty and putty over windows. There's gotta be rotten wood there somewhere.
Well, you can't paint over rotten wood and get anywhere.
2 quotes, Sherwin Williams, okay, this bid is for, oh my gosh, is this something different? Oh, let me look at this. This one's front and north side 21,000, west side's 20, oh, it is?
It's just cheaper.
Oh, I didn't add those 3 together.
Right.
Just took one, we'll add
20,
one.
40, 60, 75.
Okay,
That one's 75.
this one's
75,000.
75?
This one's 20, 40, 60, 78, 79, 80, 80, 40, so that's obviously in the mic for 75,000.
So this is 80,000, that one is?
This one's 20, 40, 60, 78, yeah, a little over 80. So obviously
Okay.
that's a smaller one to go.
So we've got one
What's
with,
that price? I don't add all up.
okay, go ahead. Oh, here's another one for the labor, cleaning out, or the boiler. Cleaning the soot out of the boiler, the burner tubes, da-da-da-da-da-da. That one's for 2,500, so we need to put that on the boiler. So scratch out 1,700 and change, well, let's see what else.
I think you know what you're doing.
Well, I'm not, I don't claim, what are we doing here? Line air vacuum vents, model 70 steam line. Oh, to replace steam line, vacuum vents. I don't know.
What's the next one?
Oh, this is the same guy?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
This is the same guy. So back to the boiler, replace PVC boiler blowdown, drain piping with 1 1/2 inch. We might need Mr. Behrens to look at this and give us ideas about what's necessary.
I do this for a living, it's okay so far.
Huh?
I do this for a living, it's okay so far.
Okay, I didn't know that. You do HVAC stuff?
I oversee everything.
1923 for thermostat. 1923, we're back on the boiler. Replace the bad burner in the back of the boiler. Burner support is warped. That's $486. This boiler is, I thought the boiler was working.
That's one thing we can do. When you start messing with the oil, things change dramatically.
What's this junction box for? Conduit and wires, weather tight steel, where's that go?
Other junction box, it must be jumping in there.
Is that part of the boiler?
It's attached to the wires that come in, it's not saying where. I don't know, I won't know unless I looked at it myself. It's $303.50.
Good grief, now these people produced. This is the Schomburg stuff. What do we got? Estimate to replace the stairwell light. They took each little project, but they're scone lights.
Wire mold.
And they're gonna be the,
Boxes. So it's all original stuff, they're just replacing all the wire, putting new boxes in. That's ridiculous in price, just so you know. That one's way off.
lawn cares 1,500. No, but we just need to digest it and break it down. See what we think the priorities should be. What is this? Project summary, project from Amarin. Somebody help me.
I think there's 2 quotes there for lighting, one from Ameren and one from Moore.
Oh, so
More
is
cheaper.
this,
He's got it cheaper. Amron, 2,000. What's the next one?
2,000, some of this lighting.
550 is the, yeah. That's this right here. They want,
Lighting, Amarin's better.
they want that much for this. This, what do you want for it? You see a price difference?
Well, I'm not surprised, Amarin's really not in the business of, well,
You get
actually, the big
550.
outside. So here's another light, LED liner base, sea lights on chains, fluorescent fixtures in vault storage,
And it's how much? 1250.
$12.50. Oh, good, last one. Oh, and we need a stapler, we're coming undone here.
Stairwell light again. You already had stairwell light once. They got 2 stairwell lights?
Well, they do have 2 stairwells.
I don't know.
Oh, it's at the south entrance, stairwell lighting power problem, so, okay.
700. Man, that's a lot of money.
all right, I'll do some,
I'm
Jim,
gonna
do
go
you
with it.
already have
I
this
got
all figured out?
No, because I would've told you.
Okay.
All right.
700 plus.
I wouldn't have let you go through it.
50 plus 828 plus 2, 1, 2, 3, plus 500. $53.28 for lighting. And what was the 49,000 for?
Was that for outside too?
No, what was that for, Paul?
They wanted lighting outside.
Where was the exterior lighting? There was a,
They used to use those in the courtrooms.
You would know that, you're back in the Civil War, remember?
Right.
That's why I said that.
Oh, I think I just made a mess of this whole thing.
All right, so just some of the minor stuff. $10,777.18. $10,777.18.
how much?
$10,777 in their minor stuff, in their lighting, in the lawn care, and everything that they have attached besides the 2 big ticket items, which is,
Don't you think the boiler would be the most important?
The boiler over here, okay, I'm just getting.
Oh,
hooked
like I
on the
said, you
boiler.
got- the only thing is when you start messing with the boiler, they'll start one project, and they'll turn it into another project, turns it to another project, because that's water that runs through the whole thing.
But you can't run a building without it, can you?
Right, but right now it's running just fine. So when you start messing with it, that's when you start having issues. If it's working right now just fine, you don't wanna mess with it.
Why do they want one then?
I don't know,
Is it old?
Yeah, it's
I-
over 20 years old.
but if they, you know what, my house is over 20 years old. They're like tanks, they run forever, until you start messing with them. When you start messing with them, that's when you start having problems.
I think if we're gonna give them any money at all, it should first be for the windows.
Agreed.
Okay, I've got 80,000 for windows, 131 for the boiler, 53.28 for lighting, 16.58 for the computer, and 49,000 for the parking lot. Standby, 49,123 plus 16.58 plus 53.28 plus 10,131 plus 80,000. Oh, that can't, oh, shoot. Instead of 40, that can't possibly be right. Okay, equals $146,117.
How much for the computers?
1658.
All right, I thought I'd take care of windows, it's almost 12:30 and I gotta call this.
I don't think that we should consider anything else, because quite frankly, if they get into the windows and find some major problems, you're gonna have to start thinking about knocking the whole building down as opposed to the cost, of what they said it costs to fix the windows. I mean, that building ain't gonna last forever, and someday there's gonna be a time of reckoning, and I'm not in favor of tearing it down, but what I'm saying is if we don't look at the window and get that done,
You're gonna
advance it down to that point, you also have a risk, even now, if there is rotted wood in there, it can't be replaced for a reasonable amount of money.
I agree with everything you're saying, John, that windows and keeping a building, and that's where my main concern is for them, structurally sound. I think if they're gonna operate, they need to think about how they're gonna get a computer. I also think though, perhaps the lighting, I don't know, my concern is a little bit about that boiler. I'm not, and,
Boiler, if they can get the windows done this summer, we can think about the boiler in the fall.
okay, so, but,
I would like to go with the computer too.
well, I sort of think if they're gonna operate in the building, I'm talking about a landlord's expenses, that's what I'm concerned about.
Every year.
And the computer is their problem.
So we can give them all these things, like, once we get the windows done and determine the building is
Right,
structurally
and they didn't
sound.
put anything in there about, the roof, so,
I don't know what the condition of the roof is either.
well, they mention it in their original application.
In the past, was it?
Right, right, and it's that mansard roof, so, anyway, I don't know, what do you think?
I don't think we should give them any money except to get the building structurally sound. Once we know that that's the
That's
case.
what I just said,
then we can-
landlord's expense, landlord's
That's the
concerns.
windows.
The windows,
To do the windows.
The rest of it can be done later in the year. If they can get the windows done now, over the summer months, and at least determine that there isn't any rotted wood or wood that's something that can't be fixed at a reasonable price, then we can give them more money.
okay, the window quote was
Because otherwise,
for,
$7,000.
you're gonna be faced with the prospect of if you fix it or tear it down.
well, that's the other thing I was gonna say. What would happen, in my opinion, is we can't tear it down because it's on the National Historical Registry. And so there would be some sort of process for that, if it were to be torn down. I think what happens with most of those buildings when they reach the point of not being able to maintain is they sit and become a problem for a community, a county, whatever, and they fall into disrepair, and people throw rocks at the windows, and eventually the roof falls in until there's no other choice. So that's what I think happens too. I'm
Well,
looking
that may
for,
happen in some areas, but that certainly indicates a huge problem with the system.
All right, so we all agree to disagree on the historical side at this point until hopefully summertime we can figure out
I'm
something.
looking for the windows.
I'd like to see him get help.
Well, I'd like to,
How much
move our
is the
resolution
windows
to
quote,
do
Joe?
the windows.
Donna, what was the window cost?
That's what I'm looking for right now.
Uh,
One was,
80,000 is what I thought it was.
it,
I thought you said 80.
we have to make a decision, there are two quotes. Total that up
That
actually.
one was not, the other one was cheaper.
This one was,
21,000, 27,000, 27,000, that one was cheaper.
that's
Different
54,
masonry.
64, 74, $75,000.
So we're gonna throw
I'm bad
$75,000
at
at a building that we might put some money on. Have they done an assessment of the building to make sure that it's sound?
I brought that up to that when they were here, and I talked about the tuck pointing and other.
Right.
That could be that nobody's addressed that, so.
I think they had some tuck pointing done at one time, but I'm not absolutely 100% certain of that.
They
Well,
should
do
have
you
an
want them back?
inspection of the building.
It's just so vague with them. That's,
Do you want them to come back?
yeah, we really needed to come back. Joe, just have them come back, so we have like a discussion over this. I believe there's a lot further discussion needs to be done. I agree, they need things done to them. The windows need to be repaired.
Maybe we should hold a county board meeting over there so the board can get familiar.
that'd be nice, John, if you would,
We've done that in the past once, and it was hotter than Hades up there.
let's do it in the springtime here, let's do it in May.
If we do it in May or June, it won't be quick.
All right, so I have one more I'm gonna get with you really quickly, I know it's getting late, 73, the Iroquois County Boardroom Audio Video Project.
73, oops, Barb, I'm kicking yours off. This one,
That's okay, I read it, I read it, you don't know how many times we read these things.
Jill did? Yeah. Jill, would you please?
No.
Okay.
I turned in a different application.
So this is for the AV project in this room. I went ahead and quoted area-wide, because some of the work that'll need to be done, we have to include them anyways, and they did the highway department's AV project. And after reviewing that, I like the setup that they had used. So it was $8,067.88 that was quoted for that. That includes a cart for the monitor, and I thought it would be beneficial to have the monitor on, meaning the TV, on a cart, that way you can utilize it at both ends of the room if you so desire. And basically during the pandemic, we kind of fell into where we had a lot of issues utilizing Zoom and trying to do virtual meetings, and we need to look at updating.
Yeah, and we still are authorized to do that, the governors continue with this declaration of emergency.
Yeah.
Still do that every 4
Omicron
months.
is still, we can do it.
All right, so what's your thoughts and views on 73? The only thing I saw was we got one quote, not two, I'm sorry.
But, no, the reason I did that is because it was under 30,000 as a county project. And we utilize area-wide already to do the highway department, I like their setup. And if we decide to go with somebody else, we still would need to utilize area-wide since it's a technology-based project. And their going rate right now is $128.
I don't think we need more than one.
I just think the setup they have over at the highway, and there's some of you that are on the highway department, it looks clean, it looks nice, it works well. I talked to Joel about it.
Because at this point, I'm brain dead and tight. Just tell me how this is gonna work. We've got a pandemic, I'm at home, we're having a board meeting. What am I gonna do and what are you gonna do here? Tell me how that's gonna work in here.
Well, before we did all of the, virtual meetings through my little laptop, now we'll be able to project it on the, it's basically a big TV like they have at the highway, and the speaker system that they have are tabletop speaker systems. So you'll be able to hear more clearly from each individual, whereas before, they were having issues with being able to hear.
How portable is this if we would have to move out and sit 6 feet apart at the highway garage?
The one here, the highway, I believe he has on the wall, he did not purchase a cart for that one. That would be a little more difficult, but for the system here, I would like to purchase the cart so it would be portable throughout the
We've
building.
never seen that one turned on at highway.
No.
So we don't know how it works.
Yeah, it's not on a cart, so it's not portable.
We're gonna mount the TV like up here on the wall.
I would like to have it portable. That's why I wanted to purchase a cart. The cart's included in the quote. So it would be on a rolling cart instead of posted on the wall
It's a
permanently.
65
That way, if you need to
inch TV.
utilize it in this side of the room, or if you need to utilize it outside of this room, you can.
One of the thoughts that I think I had initially when we talked about that, of having something up here, was that information like even the reports or other data that we want viewed can be projected up there.
And it'll work the same. The only thing is you're not going to have it
But your card isn't gonna be high enough.
permanently. It can go, you can raise and lower it, however you
How
want.
high can it go?
I don't remember, I got the quote a while ago, and I talked to Michael a while ago. But that was one of the things I mentioned, was right now we utilize the projector screen, and we're hoping to maybe post some of our reports and things like that on it during board meetings, and he said it would go above your head so that it, you know, everybody could see it.
I'm a half an hour late.
And we can purchase an additional one as well. You can have one on a cart, and you can have one up here permanently if you'd like. The cost of the screen itself was not that much, I don't believe.
$8.99 for the 65-inch LCD TV.
Yeah.
How much does
If
it
we
cost
do
for-
this, at least that gets us moving in the right direction, and we can, if we wanna embellish it further, I guess.
Right, and if you wanna add a permanent one, then we can.
Is this for, with us sitting in the room or us sitting at home?
No, this would be, well, whatever you have at home would be up to you. But this would allow for you viewing it at home to be able to hear and see better.
That's what I'm wondering, because that's what we did for, you know, with the first conference call.
Sure.
I'm not taking a 65-inch TV to your house.
Right now, we can only utilize that
No.
approach if there's a governor
I know,
resistant
right.
declaration.
But otherwise, we could utilize it like for posting the applications of when we're reviewing them, or the agenda, or.
And now during.
There is thought also of amending the Open Meetings Act to allow us to do that on a regular basis if we so choose. But that hasn't happened, it hasn't been put into the statute yet.
Okay, will this allow people to tune in and watch us live at the county board meeting?
If we so choose, or we can continue to record it and post it afterwards, like we do now.
Jill, the $7,729.88 does not include the Office 19, correct? It does or doesn't?
What does it say on it?
It basically just say, it goes down to
Sorry,
no, you're okay. It just goes down to shipping and it says at the end, $7,729.88. The optional item you had was number 8, which is for $338 for the Office 2019 standard. Do you want us to add that into that?
That's how you get to $8,067.88.
Which is on the back page that I did not look at. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I was
Sorry.
confused, I'm sorry.
It's been long enough here today. I think this will get the room straightened up. I think this would be better for everybody to hear better.
I have one other question.
Yes, sir.
If
I never heard hardly anything.
we install this system, does that mean we can dispense with Mr. Searcy's services at the board meeting?
What?
And who will oversee this, by the way? Jill or Eric Stacy to watch it get done correctly?
I give an answer to my question first.
I'm just throwing a question to everybody.
They're kind of similar.
Since my name's been brought up, you know, I helped install the original version of this.
Correct.
And then I oversaw 1 or 2 improvements of this. I'm not interested in, you guys need to understand that if you want technology to be in this room, it has to be managed. And if you want it to be managed, you need somebody to manage that. I'm not your guy. I can help oversee the installation perhaps, if you need me to, but I have 2 jobs in Hvac County. I'm not going to be able to be your IT manager.
That's why I asked the question,
And that's
is
one of
that,
my
can we get rid of you?
We used to have an IT man, a full-time guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge ordeal. I'm sure Amanda can assist with coming in the morning and just getting it up and running. And I can push a button with stop and play. It's not a
Does
big
that mean this camera comes down, we won't use it anymore, we get a new camera or what? I know, I should look at the quote.
No, we could utilize the, we can, the quote, I'm sorry. Scratch on that. Yes, we can either utilize those or we can take them down, because the new quote includes a webcam. So we wouldn't need them, so you could take care of it.
And do we use all that stuff back there in the case that's blinking at us?
Right now, yes. Right now, we do, but
I
the
mean,
hope
in the
is, the hope
future.
is to simplify it and make it more user-friendly. I believe that this is a lot more than what we necessarily needed.
So what will be done with that?
That's to the,
I believe.
I move to adopt a resolution in the amount of, for Iroquois County, the Iroquois County Boardroom AV audiovisual project in the amount of $8,067.88 for whatever, boardroom, whatever.
Thank you.
Second,
We have a second?
I did it.
Amanda, would you please?
Crowe,
Yes.
Oswald,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Duca.
Yes. Motion passes.
Now, either we have time or we don't, but for next month, I would like us to start off with, hometown, Yonah hometown, they have a sinkhole, which is very dangerous, it's getting bigger and bigger, and that's what their application's about.
Let's get,
At the same time, after that, I want to go to the Iroquois County Highway, get that taken care of.
The request you have for next meeting is someone from the garage to attend,
Yes,
as well as Martinton District 3,
correct.
and representative from the Historical Society.
Correct.
And then we would also like requests for quotes for City of Gilman, as well as some questions on Buckley ARPA funds usage.
Would you ask Joel Moore to be here also? Any new business? Any old business?
I turned in an application for this meeting. What?
We saw, we'll get to see it next month, Eric, time-wise, we gotta get moving, I'm sorry.
am
You're
just
more
gonna,
welcome to come next month, I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm not trying to waste your time, it's just
yeah,
that
okay.
I'm already 35 minutes late for my meeting. Barb has to leave here in 25 minutes. I'm literally moving this.
and I'm hangry.
I apologize, I really do.
Did I just say that?
Do I have a motion?
I'm on the adjourn.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All approved? Motion passes. Thank you all. Sorry.